the history of this country, especially for its African-American citizens. And here in South Louisiana, those who fought to get educated turned around to become educators. And that includes Julian Thaddeus White.
He graduated on a Friday, and we got married the next Friday or Saturday.
Loretta White said "I do" to her late husband, Julian T. White of Alexandria, more than 60 years ago. It was a long journey, going from Illinois, but eventually landing in the capital city.
He had a cousin-in-law, Dickie Thurman, who was an engineer but practiced architecture, influenced him. And he would work with him some summers. And I think that led him to majoring in architecture.
That cousin, Henry Dickie Thurman, was the first licensed black architect in the state. Julian would become the second. And Mr. Julian, was he aware that it would be like an uphill battle for him?
Well, he was close to Dickie Thurman. He realized there were many battles ahead. And he tried to get into LSU, and that was impossible for him at the time. And he just always knew from early on, maybe high school or so, that he wanted to be an architect.
There were many battles early on, but he faced each one with grace.
He came, take the licensing test, and somebody in the room asked if, do we have to take the test with him in the room?
As the first black professor at LSU, that room became his longtime office throughout his 33-year career.
From being a young architect and a young professor, he was really a mentor to me as I came to this new profession.
Professor Thomas Safranco says that while he worked at a local architecture firm, White still took on independent projects that served larger social purpose: schools, medical offices, public facilities, and churches across the country.
Everybody, if you were black or white, girl or guy, Julia just set the standard of, that's what it means to be a professional. That's what I want to be like.
The impact Julian White had on the LSU community still apparent as his name gets added to the building where he taught for so many years. But if you'd like to see his living legacy, you can just take a ride down Perkins Road.
When I'm on my way home, I look for the medical center.
That building is now home to FX Digital Studio, where they still have White's original blueprints, complete with his notes, the date, and state certified stamp.
It showed them that it was possible, and they could also do it.
The Julian Thaddeus White Memorial Scholarship is awarded to LSU architecture students who may have some financial need. And just of note, JP, Mr. White was also a longtime professor at Southern University. So as you can see, it's always, from my experience, from everything that I've ever learned about Black history, especially in this state, the people who were some of the first to be truly educated, to get college degrees, and their families turned around to educate even more students and open up doors for students all over the state.
I'm so glad you got to go to that building and see those plans, because we have so much history like that right here in Baton Rouge.
That's right. And of course, there is a building at Southern University named after his cousin-in-law, Mr. Henry Dickie Thurman. So lots of ties to Southern University and the Bluff. The community is so small, but the education community is really what has impacted Black people.